anything.
Sure. All right, and welcome back. We're just finishing wrapping up the teams getting back together with organizing. I think somebody was having a rune and masteries issue, but that should be wrapped up before too long, and we'll get right back into game number 2.
Certainly looking forward to Team Alpha and how they're going to come back from that loss. I ultimately what I think happened is the early game just started to spiral out of control, and I'm wondering how Team Alpha is going to prevent that from happening the second time around.
Yeah, something that always happens to me when I play games like that, when I'm up against a particularly strong character who you just can't lock down, is I kind of overcompensate by very specifically picking hard CC characters for the next game. So it'll be interesting to see if they go in there with that in mind. Maybe try to secure a Malzahar early, Warwick, something like that, to just get a handle on somebody who tries to run away with the game.
Absolutely, and I think it's a perfectly fine strategy against the comp that Team Blackbird was running in the last game. Whether or not Team Blackbird allows them to have those kind of picks is a completely different story.
Yeah, it'll especially be interesting to see if they try to target down Shaken again and just do a bunch more mid lane bans, or if they might try to mix it up and box out some other lanes instead for this game too.
If I was Team Alpha, I would focus on getting Shaken a stronger pick early off. Allow him to be a victory condition. I think Shaken can go toe to toe with Andy. It's just a matter of having a comp where he can't get outplayed from time to time based on the champion.
Yeah, and we will definitely see where that goes, but we are going now into the champion select. So let's see what comes out of them for these bans for game number 2. As we said before, the sides have switched. Now we have Team Blackbird as the blue team and Team Alpha as the red team, and right away we still see that first Victor ban.
Having played against his Victor before, let me assure you it's absolutely merited.
Oh yeah, I agree as well, but then of course we see the knee-jerk Ezreal ban. They don't want to see Andy do that again to them.
To be fair, I'm sure it wasn't pleasant.
Their fear is wise.
But yeah, we're seeing a couple of similar bans with last time, locking out that Udyr as soon as they can, along with the Cass and the Victor. So probably going to see somewhat similar flavor of bans, I would think, because there goes the Sona as well.
Sona is definitely a top tier support currently, so that seems like more of a meta ban anyways.
So I go.
And the Shen.
Yep, there goes the Shen as well, which hurts for me as a Shen player to see that happen.
No. Both teams can play Shen top lane, so they're choosing not to go with that. Ooh, Karma pick right off the bat. It's interesting that they viewed that as their first pick priority pick, but it is real safe. So I suppose they could be waiting to counter pick. They did have fantastic flex in their first draft, so they could be prioritizing them.
Yeah, but I guess we will see what kind of prioritizing we have over here for Alpha. The Lee Sin. Very interesting.
Definitely early game playmaking, but they're throwing down the gauntlet. That Lee Sin needs to have an impact early.
Braum, be a little bit more defensive for the ADC down bot, especially against poke comps. So with that Karma, they probably know the Karma's going to go bot again, or at least they're suspecting the Karma's going to go bot again. And that will help protect any sort of play that LNC is doing as the ADC.
Oh, and the Maokai.
Yeah, looks like another kind of poke-heavy comp for Team Blackbird, at least with our first 2 picks.
Well, the Maokai says that they're going to focus a little bit more on team fighting than early game dominance into leads. Oh, is that a Maokai jungle? So it looks like a Gnar top line Maokai jungle. That's very interesting. On the other side, Team Alpha has an opportunity here to pick a mid laner and save Shaken from another set of double bans and try to get him a more favorable matchup.
It's possible, like you said, though, that they're a little more confident in Shaken's ability to just play with whatever he's given, and so they want to lock out a different role, especially because then that would then theoretically force Team Blackbird to pick and ban another two
Not a
mid laners.
problem.
Ooh, and the Misfortune ban. They're not interested in playing against that again.
Yeah, there's still plenty of ADCs in the sea, as it were.
The ball is
Yeah,
in
but
me.
Team Blackbird does have to weather the storm of potentially two bans to shorten that pool while they're sitting safely on Ash.
Yeah, we will have to see what the last ban here is.
Team Blackbird definitely returning the favor by tightening that mid pool further.
Yeah, I mean, like we saw already, the mid lane is definitely their priority
Playtime's
here.
over.
And there goes a mid lane ban as well over there from Team
Uh,
Alpha.
I can respect the fact that they don't want to play against a mid lane damage playmaking character. I can see how they would get to that point off.
Yeah, especially after last round. So it is possible that they'll ban out the Malzahar, though, because that is one character from last round that we still haven't seen
A silent
removed.
death.
But nope, the Kennen again. So literally identical bans coming out of Team Blackbird. So we will see what Team Alpha will pick up for Shaken, either here or in the next pick phase.
Absolutely. They do have to choose whether they're going to counterpick with mid or counterpick with top, and it looks like they're counterpicking with mid. Malphite and Dinar is a rough matchup, though, so...
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm surprised they went with that and not someone who might be able to exchange poke with Gnar. Especially because you already have the Braum to apply some bit of tank. I would have thought they might have gone something different there, but I'm sure they know what they're doing.
Right, they do need some engage, some playmaking, so the Malphite makes sense in that respect, but it's just always going to be a rough matchup into the Nard. We have a Twitch ADC, and the moment of truth is that Karma a mid lane or a support?
They're going to hold us in suspense. I think they like the theater of it.
It's mid lane, or not mid lane, it's support with a mid lane pick. And Syndra.
So Syndra was something that I was expecting Shaken to possibly pick up, so I'm interested to see what he responds to with this.
And the question against the Syndra, oh, it's Vygar.
Oh, the
It's kill or
Vygar.
be killed. That's what it's gonna. Well, he hasn't locked it in yet, so it could be a hover.
No, I think he wants the Vygar, yeah. Who doesn't want a Vygar in this situation? There's some of
Right.
that hard ADC I was mentioning, or not ADC, CC that we were mentioning as well. They have a lot of stuns now. So
I love Team Alpha throwing down the gauntlet, saying, "All right, that's fine. Both of us can can play that game."
yeah, but like you said before, I think it'll be really interesting to see how the Malphite does. Because with that very poke-heavy lane of Gnar, I think the Malphite's going to be playing under turret for quite a bit of time. Though, of course, with the Lee Sin there, the harass could be real and help keep the Gnar off the Malphite's back.
Looking into their team comps, I suspect that Team Alpha might go for an early gank mid. Lee Sin into Vygar is a pretty potent combo, whereas the other lanes have weaker early game laning phases. The Ashes need some time to get to her ult, and the Malphite is more utility than support. But on the other side, looking into the team comps, that Maokai is going to be a low impact jungler, so there's going to be a bit of a mismatch there, as Lee Sin will have faster clear times and sort of an earlier impact, depending on how the gank's set up and where the lanes are pushing. So we might see a strong early game coming out of Team Alpha here, which will certainly get them set up for success.
Yeah, and it's good to see that they're actually really working hard on trying to respond to what happened to them last time. Beyond just the picks and bans, we see the more CC, we see a stronger defense set up to protect the Ashe, and a playmaking jungle to possibly make up for Kane's relatively low impact last game.
Yeah, and he was set up for late game scaling, even as Mastery was Dark Harvest, and he just never got a chance to pop off. But Lee Sin doesn't need help popping off in the beginning, so he's making his own luck, right?
Yeah, definitely. And with the on the other side of it, we do have a little bit of a different sort of team coming out of Blackbird here. Just with, you know, the Gnar is definitely a very different kind of character than Renekton. Maokai, as you said, being kind of low impact compared to the CC and control that Jarvan can have. And of course, the Syndra can definitely blow people up. Not necessarily as fast as a fully fed Ezreal, but
Yeah.
but definitely far less mobile than what we saw come out of them last game.
Yeah, and especially the way they're postured, the way that Team Blackbird's set up, it's we're gonna have some early game playmaking, but ultimately their plan is to have a fed Twitch, shred the enemy team in a 5-on-5 team comp. Team Alpha is kind of taking it in a different direction and put that carry from into the mid roll, and it's going to be a question of whether or not that Vigar can get damage onto the Twitch. If that Vigar is able to, that's going to shut down Team Blackbird real hard.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if fed Vigars can pretty much eat anything alive, and so it's just a question of if the Vigar manages to go off or if they manage to lock him down pretty hard. But I think with the Maokai jungle, it might be a little hard for them to do that.
Might be hard for them to lock down the Vigar.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, just
no, I'm curious because it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? They'll either be able to get that Vigar or they're gonna fail and then die for it. So it's certainly going to be some interesting team fights in this game.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Positioning will definitely be a big part of it, especially where that Braum is to try to keep any sort of aggression off of the squishier damage dealers. But we will need to see how that all lines up for them as we get ready for Game 2, Blackbird versus Alpha.
Looking down their Sunners, Syndra's forced onto the cleanse because of the Ashe. And that's gonna affect the laning phase quite a bit, and it's some of the intangible effects of a Ashe on team comp. It might sort of stunt his growth, right? It might sort of stunt Andy's growth, so that he's not able to pop off as hard against the Vigar. Looking at their masteries, at their Keystone masteries, we have Avery on Syndra. That's an interesting one. I saw Deathfire's graphs in the top lane, so we're just trying to survive the laning phase.
Alright, here we go. So, yeah, just surviving the laning phase is definitely something that we're going to have to keep an eye out for as both teams get ready and get set up. Do you think we're going to see more early jungle aggression like we did out of them on Game 1, or is it just going to be a little more passive based on the junglers that we have?
I think we might see some. Oh, and we're actually leading off. Oh, Team Blackbeard making some safe plays by throwing saplings out, but absolutely it looks like we've got some posture here for Team Alpha to make an aggressive scout into. But Team Blackbird's read it. They're waiting here. They're looking.
Yeah, definitely keeping an eye out, and it looks like they're gonna get. Oh, we're gonna have some engagement early, or maybe not. It is a 5v4 here, so it'll be interesting to see if anything comes of this. It looks as though they're definitely just kind of playing it safe. You don't want to take anything necessarily too early, especially in a 5v4 situation like that.
Just some poke. Vigar got 2 stacks off. That's all that really matters, right? At the end of the day, Vigar starts his stacking early. They definitely got the ward coverage on jungle though, so Team Alpha is going to know the route. And coupled with the fact that Maokai is... Oh, we've got a little skirmish going on top lane. We might see a flash come out. There it is.
Oh, and there's the flash. All right, so Gnar is going to be a little behind, not only missing the flash, but probably having to go back to heal. Though with the... Though the thing is, that just simply by the fact that Malphite is not necessarily the most aggressive top laner, he may be able to just hang around and wait it out.
Definitely not the start you're looking for though, as in Gnar. You gotta play more safe, and that's not what you'd hope for. On the plus side, there is definitely information going both sides. Both teams know where the jungle started, and maybe with trading also put Team Alpha's jungler behind.
Oh, definitely getting some poke off here. Bot lane, the Ashe missed an auto there.
We got a gank coming on top lane too, an early game gank.
Possibly an early gank going on up there as well, but it looks as though... Odin's playing it very safe. I'm not sure he may be in that big of a danger. The Lee Sin tries it and almost gets it. He almost wanted to go back in there for the dive, but wisely does not.
At the end of the day, forced the Gnar out, gave the Malphite a chance to have a good game and not be bullied by that Gnar. All in all, excellent impact right off the bat from this Lee Sin.
Yeah, and little bit more poking going on in the bot lane and in the mid lane, but mid lane once again seems to be somewhat equal, though the Veigar is taking a couple of shots. He's somewhat out of position by that bush.
Taking a look quick at the masteries across the board here, what we have is we have a press the attack from Gnar, so he's going to be auto attack focused, which makes sense, but he's not bringing any of that tank to the game that you would sometimes see. We have support and tank masteries coming out of the Maokai, Avery from Syndra, and auto attack based lethal control from Twitch. He's definitely
Oh, Twitch was trying to get something there, but Brahm's shield is definitely helping the Ashe out, keeping her ahead in most of these engagements and forcing the Twitch back. But possibly a gank going on up here on the Malphite. Really low on mana and a flash burned as well, so they're definitely hoping to get something out of this, and it looks like they will. Gotta get lucky. He's just probably going to get taken out here unless he somehow manages to burn the... Oh my god, he gets away.
What a play, right? Just calmly walk towards the... Oh, are they looking to dive the turret? They may just be diving the turret in top lane.
No, I don't think they're that crazy, especially with the Malphite getting his shield back. That turn-up is not seeing what it needs to see, and the Malphite's going to get away. But as you said, that was incredibly daring by the Malphite, simply just casually walking back to lane. You wouldn't think that he almost died. But we have a possible gank here. Syndra is getting caught out. Another flash is burned, but it doesn't look... Maybe they... Yes! Lee Sin gets it first blood.
Gank in mid lane to help this Veigar pop off right before Syndra would have gotten her ult. I guess she's only level 4, but excellent timing all the same.
Yeah, and once again, Gnar suffers getting down to half health while the Malphite comes back. They're relatively even, especially with the Malphite having all of that cloth armor, so trades are going to go much better for the Malphite until the Gnar ends up going back to get the items that it needs.
Exactly. Not that the Gnar is in a bad position, but he's not going to be able to pressure like he would otherwise have gone. That early game pretty disastrous actually for Gnar. He's always going to be a split pushing threat though, so his conditions haven't changed too much.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, looks like the Maokai is kind of rotating in here, but possibly going in for a little bit of an invade here. Maybe trying to find the Lee Sin, or at the very least see where he's at. Places some wards so they have a good idea about when blue happens. But Veigar does come back to lane with just some high-level boots and a few more health potions to win those trades a little bit better. Gnar does a horrific misplay top lane.
Oh no!
I thought he was going to get away with that, but he bounced into the wall as opposed to back toward his turret, and that's just easy pickings there for the Malphite.
That's disastrous for Team Blackbeard. Behind Gnar isn't a split push threat at all, and he's going to have to play smart for the next couple of minutes here, or else Team Blackbeard's going to have to dedicate some resources to dealing with that.
Yeah, definitely hurts to see, especially with the relatively normal engagements going on everywhere else. Good block there by the Braum, just to make sure the Ashe is alright and safe there. Ashe is farming pretty confidently here. 7 CS up there on the Twitch.
Yeah, 10 down in top lane on this Gnar though, unfortunately. The rich get richer, and the situation goes from bad for worse for this Gnar. Mid lane farm is equal, the only difference being the assist on the Veigar from that first blood gank.
Yeah, both are definitely trying to play it safe with their itemization as well as just their standard posturing. Neither seems to be going that far in, at least not since the Veigar had that little out of position bit by the bridge early. They just kind of want to live and let live, I think, because the Veigar, all he needs is time. And with the Syndra being down that one assist, I think she might be a little bit cautious, especially with the threat of the Lee Sin, because they do not have that good of ward coverage where the Lee Sin is currently.
Yeah, and it looks like Gnar is collecting Scuttle, but he's going to bump face first into Lee Sin here.
But with Maokai there to assist, I don't think there'll be that much of a danger to the Gnar. Unless... No, that could be close. Oh, they've got him to half. The Gnar might still go down. Good flash. Double flash on both, and it looks like they're going to get away, and they might get the Maokai too. Oh.
Well done.
Wow. That's rough. The Gnar tried to get a sweet little outplay there, but it just didn't work out for him.
It almost worked out really well, but the flash was matched by Brandana, and unfortunately didn't quite work out.
And so now we're having a tale of two games here. We see that when the Team Alpha was down in the first game, probably in almost this exact same situation, give or take a kill, but now they're the ones in the lead. Even with this Veigar with no mana, is just going to pretty much calmly walk out of lane. Thanks in part, I believe, to what you said earlier with that Syndra being forced to take the cleanse.
Yeah, Ignite tells a very different story there, right? Ignite plus ult that Veigar's dead every time, but unfortunately, and he's not able to pop off in this game, in stark contrast to last game.
Yeah, down here, bot lane is still relatively gentlemanly, all things considered. With nobody really being in that big of a threat as the supports are keeping their buddies all nice and healed up. Though it could change here in a second if they get an angle on that Karma.
Oh, they're certainly trying to.
That Karma is rather vulnerable here. Oh, if that Braum had hit, that might have been a different situation there. But now the tables have turned, and now the Twitch is trying to go in on the Braum, but it seems like he's fine with the chip damage. Oh, the stun! The stun, that could be a dead Twitch or Karma if they just manage to get the stun off, and they do. Flash is burned, the Karma survives, and the Twitch gets the kill. Ashe probably should have gone back there, but does manage to pick up the Karma before she dies.
Great flash from Twitch at the end there to not try to kill back to this Lee Sin, but he should have no trouble diving this, so let's see how this works out.
Oh man, great job by the Lee Sin, and he should be able to get out as well. Well done. Really good trades going back here and forth, 2 for 2. And there may be some excitement coming top lane. Veigar looks hungry. I'm not sure if they know the Maokai is in there though. We'll see where it goes. Maokai very low. Flashes might be able to get away from that depending how hungry the Veigar is. It looks like they're trying to close in on the Gnar. Maybe not the best choice, especially with the Syndra coming in. She could get behind or in front of them to cut off their escape and close this out. The Gnar still manages to go down, but the Syndra burns the flash to get in there and may pick up these last 2 kills.
Let's see if you can get this done. He calls it off.
Yep.
But he's able to trade one back, and at the end of the day, it's 1 for 1, which I always favor to the team that's behind. Speaking of the team that is behind Team Blackbeard is 2,000 gold behind Team Alpha, which is certainly manageable. But Team Alpha is certainly putting the foot down on the gas pedal right now and trying to make some plays in this lead.
Yeah, definitely creating that pressure, especially on the top lane. We look at the Gnar. While he is managed to be a few up in CS, he's 0-3, so that just, in and of itself, just says so much in terms of lost experience, let alone lane presence.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of being a split foot threat, he's struggling to have any impact at all. But
Maokai may be jumping out here. Oh, amazing reaction time by the Braum there. Managing to protect the Ashe and relatively being safe. I'm not sure how I feel about this teleport, but it seems to be working out for the relatively powerful Malphite who manages to pick out that Karma. Oh, incredibly big fight going on here. Not quite sure who's going to end up on top. It seems like the Twitch will manage to get away. No, the Lee Sin. Oh, but the turret wasted flash there from the Malphite. That's too bad.
It was an excellent juggle of turret hero, but unfortunately it just didn't work out for the Malphite there at the end, and tragically loses his flash.
Yeah, that Syndra swooping in there at the end definitely had the potential to make a difference, but she manages to get picked off as well in a 4 for 3. And as you said before, the Gnar, being as underfed as he is, really makes this split pushing he's trying to do here not really that intimidating. Barely doing any damage to the turret at all.
Yeah, but he is able to recoup some of that loss. He's now 25 CS ahead, and though he may be behind on kills, this is what Gnar needed to get back into the game, so let's see what they're able to do with that.
Alright, so red team gets the first dragon, which is a Cloud Drake.
Yeah, able to collect that as a nice little extra reward for that four-person gank in bot lane. They do clean up that turret as well, so all in all, smart macro play from Team Alpha.
Malphite trying to put the pressure in there on Mega Gnar, but can't seem to quite catch up to him. However, Veigar might be able to help out here. No, it seems as though Gnar knew that was coming with thanks to the ward, and so is playing it safe.
Remember, kids, always high control wards.
Alright, Veigar comes back, caught a little bit out of position from that angle, but they don't manage to capitalize it because Karma was a little bit out of position there. So that's fine. Veigar comes back, reclaims control of his lane, and now the Braum and Ashe are coming up, running right into a large Maokai ult, and it is... Ashe goes forward. I'm not sure I agree with that. With the number of champions that she could have seen coming, more than likely, LNZ should have just backed off.
Yeah, that is definitely a smart play, and with the teleport mismatch too. Bit of a bold play. Unfortunately, the Team Alpha bot lane just got caught out on wards.
Yeah, definitely. And now they're sort of trying to recoup their loss there by trying to take the top turret, but Malphite and Lee Sin actually are doing less damage to the turret than Gnar was, so I'm not sure how quickly they'll be able to get this down, though it looks as though Blackbird's letting them have it.
Yeah, I think that they'll eventually get it. Team Blackbird is securing their own jungle just to make sure that it doesn't get any worse than it already is.
Alright, so now 2 turrets over there for Team Alpha, and we will just have to see where they decide to strike next.
With that second turret going down, there's now a 3,000 gold lead towards Team Alpha, so it seems to be basically status quo, holding steady for Team Blackbird and Team Alpha.
Yeah, with Gnar just trying to make that Malphite respect him, especially with that slightly higher CS lead. Sure, he doesn't have the 4 kills, but he doesn't necessarily need it. Mid lane also has a very strong engage there. Both characters left relatively weak. The Lee Sin, I think, is going to try to go for a dive again, but the Syndra sees it coming and is going to back off. Oh, misses there, and the Lee Sin's probably going to get picked off here unless he manages to run for it. The Twitch is going to get him.
That submarine.
The Twitch takes him out. How different that would have been if he'd landed a skill shot, though, right?
Absolutely. But I like to credit the juke. It was a nice juke for me.
Oh sure, yeah, definitely. It's just, you know, I'm sure that Lee Sin's gonna be kicking himself for a while. And the Ashe. Oh,
the poison tick.
Poison and red buff tick. I believe the red buff was on the Twitch at that point.
Yeah, I believe so as well. Yes.
Yeah, from picking off the Lee Sin. So 1 kill leads into another, and the Blackbird is closing the gap in terms of gold lead and kills.
Exactly. It looks like a comeback story, but also a comeback story within a comeback story. So.
We'll just have to see which one manages to win out. The Malphite picking on the Gnar a little bit, but the Gnar is almost close to Mega Gnar, so the Malphite wisely backs off.
Looking at that matchup in a little bit more detail, it looks like there's a it's only 15 or so CS lead for that Gnar, so that Malphite is probably doing a lot better as I think an extra completed item.
Alright, and Blackbird picks up their first turret while Team Alpha decides to grab the creature over here to help push more towers.
Looking to secure that Rift Herald and use that to knock down a turret. Looking at the turrets on the field, I think that mid lane outer sticks out, but I'm not sure if they'll find a way to use it.
Yeah, mid seems like a pretty good place to hit this, especially because they can see this Syndra going back. So once she goes back, if they want to pop out that Rift Herald, but she notices the ward and takes it out. Lee Sin's going in on that Gnar, misses another skill shot, but should be able to secure this anyway with that slow one little punch. There it goes. Down goes Gnar again for the 4th death.
Still close, but so far away.
Veigar might be able to get the karma. Oh, the stun just half a second too slow. And now they're trying to push in on the Malphite and the Lee Sin, but I think they're going to have to be forced to let it go.
Yeah, Team Blackbird definitely making a play to switch the lanes here. They've got their bot lane matched up in their bot lane champions in the top lane and they're looking to push on that turret.
Oh, that Lee Sin. I mean, Lee Sins are never actually out of position, but this could be pretty close. The Malphite helpfully giving him a way to run up there. That would have been really bad otherwise if the Malphite had not realized what was going on and left the Lee Sin to its own.
Yeah, ends up being a team player after all.
Alright, the Veigar, though, completely caught out of position, manages to flash away and shielded, but taken out by the Twitch. The Lee Sin might also end up going down as well. It's going to be really close. Double kill by the Twitch. That Twitch is starting to go off, as you said before. Malphite rather out of position here. He's got to warp back to the turret and fast, otherwise he's going to suffer the same fate as his teammates. But Brahm's there to give him a little bit of a hand. Oh, displaced by the Malphite. Getting there. Okay. Oh, more damage over time, and the Karma helped seal the deal there. Quite painful. 3 for none. And
yeah,
Blackbird pulls ahead.
Ooh,
Oh.
little wombo combo, and he's gonna make it out to
Make his
insult to injury.
4 for and gets the turret, and they're heading toward Dragon now, I think.
And Team Blackbird comes ahead with a 1,000 gold lead. Certainly made a comeback in this game.
Yeah, just some bad decision making there, I think, a little bit on Alpha's part. Seemed like they weren't able to quite get out, and maybe bit off a little more than they could chew. Especially here now. I mean, they're going in 3 versus 5. They do manage to pick off Maokai, but with such a weak amount of hit points, just one lucky shot could have closed that up. Malphite decides to go after the Twitch rather than the Karma. And Lee Sin does manage to get the Syndra and the Gnar before getting taken out by the Karma. Malphite's still chasing, but it looks as though the Twitch is going to get away.
Lee Sin secures a 2-1 play in the middle of the enemy team after everything looked lost for Team Alpha. Definitely came back to make that worthwhile, and also allow Team Alpha to pick up the Dragon after 4 sets.
Yeah, Alpha's telling me not to count him out just yet. That was a really risky play, but they did manage to turn it around and get back and make up some of that lost ground. Now they have both dragons, even if the Mountain Drake may not be the most exciting of the dragons to have picked up there.
It'll make for some interesting Baron risky calls, you know. We could have some fun with this one for sure.
Yeah, no question about that, especially, as you said, I mean, dealing the damage to the turrets as well will be definitely helpful, so they can get back ahead in that turret lead, as they are now equal in turrets when before they had the advantage in that regard.
Yeah, and we're back to a dead even game. So we've seen it swing, and we've seen it swing, and we've seen it swing back. Actually, I think that was too many, but you get the idea.
Yeah. All right. Rift Herald automatically summoned thanks to Baron's arrival. So we'll see if it manages to get anything done. But with the Twitch and the Karma heading right for it, it doesn't seem like that'll happen. Unfortunate little mistake there for the Lee Sin. I feel as though he might have been better served just using it a little bit earlier once they won that fight at Dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Could have turned it. Yeah, exactly. That would have been the perfect call.
Or even done it while the fight at Dragon was going on his way there. That way there could have been a double threat, possibly gotten some work done while everyone was distracted at Dragon. But here we are.
But at least,
yeah, I mean, at least they managed to claw their way back. You know, it seemed like the momentum was sliding toward Team Blackbird's way yet again, but Alpha has managed to pull it back into equal. Lee Sin, had a chance there, may still get that chance. Veigar coming in, flash burned by the Karma. Veigar should probably back up, but wants to secure that kill and does. Good ult by the Ashe. I was not expecting him to land that, though he does manage to get picked off. Lee Sin gets taken out as well, and once again it's just a 3 for 1. With the Ashe wisely retreating with the help of the Malphite to make sure she stays safe.
Definitely a fight in the favor of Team Blackbird, and position right next to Baron. Looks like they're not going to go for it, but they're certainly able to establish control.
Oh, Ashe is in trouble.
Super deep from this Maokai though, but wonderful stun.
Yeah, he's got the tankiness to back it up, but that Syndra is in trouble. This Malphite is unquestionably rather dangerous with the 4 kills on it.
Who would have guessed, right?
Right.
But yeah, that Malphite is definitely a threat to be reckoned with. And also, Syndra forced out the Summoner heal on Ashe, so arguably a trade won by Team Blackbird, but it could have been much worse.
A little bit of Baron positioning going on right now, clearing up some wards. Malphite rotating top to help out against his turret, which is still standing, but he may end up getting dived here as 4 members of Team Blackbird are up here to take out this turret.
Team Alpha's read the play though, and we've got a bit of a team fight going on.
Oh, another flash. This poor Veigar keeps getting his circle flashed out of. Must be rather frustrating, but a good way to make sure those flashes aren't available for bigger fights down the road.
Exactly. Every time Veigar sees a flash, I'm sure he's fine with that trade.
Ashe, meanwhile, is trying to make up, or rather increase, her CS gain. Despite being 8 kills in the hole, she is 50 CS almost up. So that will definitely help out. Try to make a little bit of difference compared to the massive kill lead that Twitch has.
Yeah, that differential is certainly minimized by all the farm that Ashe is collecting and continuing to collect. Meanwhile, in top lane, there's a 20 CS lead, so that Malphite is certainly keeping closer to the Gnar than the Ashes to the Twitches to the Ashe. Big leads on Team Alpha side also.
Oh, Lee Sin is getting caught out of position again. Stuck in a 3v1, taken out relatively easily despite the Veigar and Ashe's attempt to help out. That's just a shame to see, especially because the Lee Sin has been really a big influence just in terms of CS and disruption. It's sad to see him lost out there, and hopefully Alpha doesn't lose too much because of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lee Sin's starting to fall off now that we're getting in towards the late
Oh,
game.
a big Maokai ult coming down. This may be killer. Ashe is going to get taken out relatively quickly. Veigar does manage to get out. Braum doing some defensive plays there. Teleport comes in from the Malphite, but Maokai just walks out like it wasn't any sort of big deal.
Yeah, ended up working out. Let's see, we get they did secure the kill on Ashe and burn teleport, so Team Blackbird's perfectly fine with how that one worked out. But Team Alpha is making a move towards Baron, perhaps.
Baron without the jungle. Lee Sin getting hungry for a kill there, but doesn't leave himself any way to get out and is picked off in a 1-for-1.
Traded junglers though, so at least that smite's not there for either team, so it looks like there won't be a Baron call for a little bit.
Malphite, a little out of position as well, 3v1. That seems to be just what's happening with Team Alpha here. The positioning leaves a little bit to be desired. They just keep getting, I mean, in their desire to do some really good warding, and they do have incredibly good warding going on here, but it seems as though they're sacrificing champions to do that.
Yeah, they keep getting caught out, right? Unfortunately, Team Blackbird's trying to snowball this one a little bit. They've got a 4,000 gold lead now, and they, like you said, they do keep catching Team Alpha out. Although it helps that they have a Twitch who can show up. He's everywhere on the map at the same time, right? You don't know where he is until he's there. Looks like we're resetting a little bit here. We're collecting our jungle here for Team Blackbird. We have a red buff on Twitch now to make him even that much scarier. Meanwhile,
yeah, Dragon is definitely alive. Maokai is chasing the Lee Sin a little bit. That's interesting. Not that he necessarily has the damage to take out the Lee Sin, but at least he's, you know, announcing his presence and making sure the Lee Sin respects it.
Yeah, and definitely collecting some vision too before they start that objective, which they have indeed spread it up.
All right, Blackbird getting their first dragon.
Absolutely equal mountains.
Oh, and there goes the Malphite just face checking a bush, and he may end up regretting it. Lots of damage on there. Good flash, but with the vision from it, still manages to get taken off. Gnar burns flash. I'm not sure it's going to be worth it. The Braum should be able to get under tower with his own flash, but the Gnar still wants it. And the Gnar is... No, very close. Oh, amazing flash ults, taking out the Twitch. But still ends up being a 3-for-1 in favor of Blackbird.
For sure, but they did get the Twitch, and that's a really important part, because the Twitch is where their late game damage is coming from. Sure, Syndra can blow up a champion, but the team fight damage comes from Twitch.
Oh, certainly, especially considering how many kills he has. But then, even without Twitch, they show that they're not slouches there by taking out the Veigar pretty easily as well.
In my defense, I said Syndra could blow up a champ, and that's exactly what just happened.
Very true. Yeah, it is kind of rough to see the Veigar, because I mean, Veigar being the glass cannon that he is, anyone breathes on him hard and he goes down.
He's not getting a great opportunity for his ult off, and he's building Lichbane too, which doesn't help him because he has to get up nice and close. Or doesn't help that because he has to get up nice and close. Still, though, he is a ticking clock, and it's certainly coming. It's certainly something that Team Blackbird has to be worried about.
Yeah, particularly with the way that the runes are now, with less durability overall. That just makes it that much easier for hungry Vegars to eat people.
Exactly. Interesting note that he didn't build Gathering Storm, which is the damage scaling rune keystone, and went with the more immediate impact of combat.
Alright, well after the last couple of team fights, we have Blackbird now almost 5k in the lead when it comes to gold, so making up some of that lost ground and equivalent ground they had before. So definitely something to look out for all the fans of Team Alpha up there, seeing if they're able to come back from this now deficit after being in the lead in the early game.
Yeah, and they have control of the Baron Pit. Luckily, for Team Blackbird, they have these Rift Scullers secured, so that there won't be any hidden Baron plays, and they have Gnar pushing, still pushing quite hard in the bot lane.
Yeah, Gnar's bot lane pushing is definitely something that'll probably have to be addressed. Malphite's trying to do something similar top lane, but I don't think that's going to carry the same weight and pressure as a bot lane pushing Gnar, especially now in Mega Gnar form, just getting that extra little bit of burst and being able to get away before the Ashe could come in and do something about it. But it looks as though Blackbird, now knowing where Ashe and Brahmar are going to try to get a quick Baron Pit steal here, it doesn't seem like Alpha's going to be able to contest it all unless the Lee Sin does something amazing.
And they see him, they know where that's coming from, but that Lee Sin always has a chance to steal.
So we'll see where it is. Baron is now getting there, and the rest of Alpha is coming in. It was a good stun there on Syndra, and I think that alone is enough to intimidate them out. Malphite going in. They take out the Syndra relatively quickly there, but also get melted 2-for-1 in exchange. Twitch doing the work, but gets knocked out. The Maokai is basically living on Ashe's head, but doesn't manage to close it out until Gnar gets in there. Veigar coming in, tries to blow up the Gnar, but doesn't manage to get it done. And it looks like everyone except for the Veigar is going to get taken out. Maybe even the Veigar, depending what this Gnar manages to get done.
It looks like he's going to make it out okay. And Team Blackbird very wisely pulls off, but just a little bit too late as that Malphite jumps in and takes out, hits Andy with his ult, and also gets the Twitch ult. Fortunately for them, they were able to turn it around, I think in no small part due to the damage coming out of Gnar, although Twitch did shred. So ultimately, it didn't work out for Team Alpha, but they came very close to turning the game yet again.
Yeah, they definitely have the potential to do that last second turnaround. And not only that, they had gotten a little bit closer in the gold lead as well until that turret went down. So we can see with what they're doing, they have the potential to make it work. They just have to make sure to coordinate as a team. I think once again the issue is just that they're having 1 or 2 people go in at a time rather than moving in as a unit.
And I think it was a 4v5 to begin with because I think someone had died. Right? But exactly, the interesting point, the important point, the point that you were trying to make is that the team fight coming from Team Alpha is significant. It's not. It's something that has to be concerned about, and with this, Veigar continuously stacking and building just that much more.
Alright, Veigar is now once again kind of keeping an eye on the Baron Pit here, while Karma is clearing out the runes. Definitely it'll be interesting to see which team makes a move for Baron next. It looks as though Team Alpha is aware that they're going to keep trying to make, and once again, they're trying to go in and make something happen. Syndra just blows the Veigar apart. That possibly guarantees the Baron for them, unless Lee Sin does something amazing right now. But 1 or 2 seconds too late there. So now Absolutely. It's a 4v5 with the Baron buff, and they're really hungry to push down this mid lane.
And that Veigar just got deleted by Syndra, so Syndra and Andy very happy to show that to play that game.
Yeah, definitely. Braum trying to make the defense, but displacement out Maokai. I think they're going to lose both their tanks here. Excellent flash and another displacement there. Ult as well. Lee Sin doesn't want to go in on that.
And let's see. We'll have to see if Team Alpha is able to mount a defense with Lee Sin and Ashe. There's 5 seconds left on that. Vygar's uptime.
Ash looks like she's just trying to stay away and is stalling until the Veigar comes out. Maokai jumps on her head. Veigar comes here, tries to secure Gnar, but only manages to get him down to half health. And it looks like they're going to lose both turrets. Maybe not the Nexus, though. We'll have to see. Lee Sin, pretty low, gets taken out, and this is probably GG.
That certainly looks like the game here. There it is.
And there it is. So that goes 2-0 for Team Blackbird. And
Team Blackbird is able to stop that underdog story of Team Alpha in its tracks and manages to make a comeback in the game and secure the game.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate. It looked like we were going to go to a game 3 there with Team Alpha, but unfortunately they just seemed to get picked off a little bit in the jungle there. But, you know, held in for a lot longer than they did in game 1 and definitely had some of the good matchups that they were looking for.
Oh, definitely. They definitely learned the lessons of their first game and put them to good use in the second game. I was really looking forward to the third game because I wanted to see what they learned from this one as well.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it does not seem as though we will be doing a third game.
Well, actually, no. Late breaking news. It sounds like we're going to go for the third game just because we can. After all, this is LCUS, not LCS. Looks like we're going to go take a short break right now and come back at you with a game 3 in the future.
All right, sounds awesome. Can't wait. Stay tuned.